And welcome to Hero Power. I'm your host, Avanties, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Zerotio.
What is up, gang? We appreciate everybody letting us take a week off. I had some personal stuff going on in my life, and then we observed Mother's Day yesterday, so we're a day late getting this out. But which is good because we have some news to drop today. So
Yeah.
I'm excited we get to that.
Absolutely. Lots of fresh, hot news ready. I think some people are going to be really excited about what's coming. Then we're going to have our Grandmasters recap and take a look at the changes that we've seen so far for the Year of the Phoenix and where what that means for Hearthstone and this week's Tavern Brawl. So we got a full show for you, a lot to talk about. First of all, though, like you said, we haven't been here in a little over a week. Week and a half. So, Zerotio, what have you been up to in Hearthstone?
I obviously been playing in Coin Concede Listener Series. I was doing really well first couple of weeks, and then I lost in week 3, so I'm sitting at 2-1. I'm still not out of it. THL's been a little rocky, but I've been hitting the ladder. I'm kind of hovering at Diamond 5, Diamond 4 right now, and just haven't had a lot of time to make that final push. I need like a good 10-hour block, and I can go from Diamond 5 to Legend. And other than that, just enjoying Hearthstone. I mean, the meta is really good right now, and there are a lot of classes that a lot of people aren't happy with how good they are, like Demon Hunter. But honestly, there's a good, strong 4 classes, another 2 classes that are kind of viable still, and then leaving kind of 4 weak classes. But those 4 weak classes are still fun to play, and they're playable. You can get wins with them. The outlier being kind of Paladin's the only one, which makes me sad. That's almost no way to win with it.
Yeah.
But to me, that's healthy. And now we have a 10-class meta where 9 are really playable, and 6 of them are viable, and 4 are your top decks. That's healthy to me, and we're probably on the verge of seeing some more content, and maybe not new cards yet, but seeing solo content, which usually, even if there are no cards introduced, it shakes up the meta with ideologies and people coming up with ideas. And when people say, oh, the meta's stale, just go check out No Hands Gamer. He'll give you a new deck. He's been innovating every single week.
Yeah.
And the Grandmaster players have been playing those innovative decks, and then all of a sudden that's the new meta. So I think it's healthy right now, and I'm happy.
All right. So it sounds like you've been having fun in the game.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
There you go. Well, since we last recorded, I've not played a whole lot of Hearthstone, but I was not prepared, as Illidan would say. Shortly after we finished recording our last episode, I received a box in the mail addressed to Avanties, not Patrick Freeman, but Avanties, and inside said box was a Warglaive. Let me see if I can get this in shot. Yeah, an actual Warglaive, says Hearthstone on it, and turns out it was a box, and inside said box was this really cool message from the team from Team 5. I just wanted to give a huge shout out to those guys. I posted about this on our Twitter, but I mean, this was a really cool gift from the Hearthstone team, and they make it a point to say, they've really been looking forward to the Year of the Phoenix, and they're looking for ways to celebrate, even as fireside gatherings and live competitions are unable to take place in person due to what's going on in the world today. And I just thought this was a really neat thing from the team, and I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you to any of them that might be listening. But yeah, that's pretty much been where my Hearthstone has been.
And I'm not jealous. You're jealous.
Yes, I am very jealous of Zerotio not being jealous.
Yeah, sure, yeah. But that wasn't it. I mean, you got some really cool Hearthstone themed Ray-Ban sunglasses. You got a jacket. They sent you just a full gambit.
And I believe it was a hat, the sunglasses, and a jacket,
and of course the Warglaive plaque
and the Warglaive. Yeah,
I think a few other content creators. I believe Ridiculous Hat for Coin Concede also got a package. So it's really, it's really nice that they see the work that we're doing as content creators. And I'm not sure if that was sent to you as the podcast creator or as a fireside, but either way, being an innkeeper, it's nice that they recognize the hard work that our community puts into the game. And it's just a good feels good. And thanks for that. Thanks for I'm going to pretend it was sent to the show, and I'll expect my cut later.
Okay.
Even though I won't get one, but I'm going to pretend. All right, I'm part of this. It was sent to us. You're just holding it.
All I'm saying is the jacket's really nice. My 6'2", 290-pound black belt, almost 17-year-old has taken it from me, and was like, "If you want it, take it back." And I know I can't, so it's now his jacket.
Yeah, your son gets paid to beat up little kids so parents can stay at home and do the solitary thing.
Yeah, he teaches karate at a local dojo, so yes, that is
he beats
his
up
job
little
description.
Kids. Tell it how it is. He beats up little kids. So, okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump right into this week's news and discussion. And as we alluded to at the top of the show, patch 17.2 will be going live the same day you're downloading and listening to this show.
Yeah. This is it's kind of unprecedented. I mean, we say it's unprecedented, but they've been doing a lot of this, especially with Battlegrounds, and this patch is primarily Battlegrounds related. So that's not too unexpected to hear about it and then have it launch within the next few days. Now, usually we'll hear about it on Thursday or Friday, and they say early next week, but this is tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow as we've gotten the notice. Today, if you're downloading and listening to our podcast episode, so probably around 1 o'clock Eastern, the new content will drop. The patch 17.2 is going to be primarily Battlegrounds, and it's going to introduce 3 new heroes and 1 new minion. And the new heroes are Lady Vosh, whose ability is Evolving Electricity. It's a passive. After you upgrade Bob's Tavern, replace his minions with one of a tavern tier higher. This is really interesting because this is kind of where Nozdormu's strong, where Nozdormu resets whenever you refresh a tavern. It costs 0 the first time. So you can upgrade Bob's Tavern and then refresh with the newer tavern tier. This kind of does something similar already. But if you're at Tavern Tier 2 and you happen to have a lot of 2s, you're guaranteed to get a bunch of 3s. So it might even be better than Nozdormu. Then we have Maiev Shadow Song. It's a Imprison is the hero power. Cost 1 gold to use. Make a minion in Bob's Tavern dormant after 2 turns. Get it with +1/+1.
Yeah, so let's make sure you understand that. So for 1 gold, you target a minion. That minion will go dormant for 2 turns.
Yes.
Then you get that minion with a +1/+1 boost. So effectively, you're buying that minion for 1 gold with +1/+1 on a 2-turn delay.
Yeah, it's kind of like Yogg-Saron, where Yogg-Saron's 2-cost hero power buys a random minion and gives it +1/+1. where this is only one cost for the minion, but you lock a spot in the tavern for 2 turns.
That's
so you're going to have less choices for those 2 turns. So I'm not sure how good she'll be if that early on swing where you don't have a lot of minions to choose from, if it's going to be detrimental early to use, or if it's really a late game ability. It's very interesting. I kind of like this. I like this, that they're introducing dormant abilities to the tavern, and she's the one I'm not really sure about yet, but I'm really excited to try her out. And then the third hero
is the one I'm excited to try about.
Go ahead, you can read it.
Okay, so you guys know Kel'Thas Sunstrider just made it into the game with the new set, and his ability is every 3rd spell you cast each turn costs 0. Well, now Kel'Thas is coming to the battlegrounds, and his passive hero ability, Verdant Spheres, every 3rd minion you buy gets +2/+2.
This isn't every 3rd minion in a turn. This is every 3rd minion.
Correct.
So on turn 1, you usually buy a minion. On turn 2, usually you upgrade your tavern. Turn 3, you try to buy a token minion, sell the token, and buy another minion. That second minion you buy that turn is going to have +2/+2.
Oh my gosh.
That is such a curve for you don't have to put any investment into it. No gold. It's passive.
So,
and then if you get in a situation where you're doing a lot of Battlecry stuff where you're buying a minion, selling a minion, buying a minion, selling a minion, it's going to have a lot of strategy with which minion's your 3rd one that you want to keep. I'm liking that they keep tossing up the battlegrounds, because I was kind of getting stale of it, because it's been a little while since they've done any updates. I'm going to want to jump back in and be primarily battlegrounds for like a week.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this: we've seen how, Kel'Thas is. I mean, he's good in the game in Hearthstone with his ability of making every 3rd spell cost 0. We've seen some shenanigans. Do we think that every 3rd minion getting +2/+2 may be too powerful? Do we think this could get nerfed to just a +1/+1 in the near future?
Near future, no. So what I believe is going to happen is Kel'Thas Sunstrider is going to have results come back as a fairly low to middling win rate. And it's not because he's good, but because he's difficult. Because a lot of people are going to be like, oh, every 3rd minion I get +2/+2. Well, when they get on that buy, sell rotation, they might end up putting themselves in a position that the minion they want to sell, like a buff minion, gets the +2/+2, therefore negating the +2/+2. And they have to sell that minion to make a slot open. And so to start out, I don't think he's going to have a very high win rate. But then the players that are good at him and start figuring out how to do him, kind of like with Dancing Daryl, where Dancing Daryl didn't have a really high win rate until a lot of streamers started figuring out the meta with Dancing Daryl and how to make him work right. And then a lot of people were watching the streamers and learned that whole strategy and the APM dance with Dancing Daryl. Then all of a sudden, Dancing Daryl's win rate shot through the roof. They didn't change Dancing Daryl. It's just people learned him. And I think Kel'Thas Sunstrider is a good example of a hero in Battlegrounds that is going to start out kind of middling and then shoot up in win rate because people just figure him out.
Okay.
And I'm excited for that because that's the kind of gameplay in Battlegrounds that I like. Is being able to maybe figure something out before anybody else does. And then they eventually figure it out, and then you find another way to counter it. So I'm excited for all 3 of these. And one thing to note is they're putting in 3 heroes. They're not taking any out.
Correct.
So that means there's going to be a lot of heroes in the pool that might be really powerful that either don't even get offered to anybody or don't get selected. Because maybe out of the 4 heroes you get, 3 of them are top meta heroes. You can only pick one.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to get those other ones.
Now, as you said earlier, they're putting in 3 heroes and not taking any out. They are also adding 1 minion and removing a minion. And
I think it's important that they remove a minion when they add a minion, because it imbalances the tiers. They kind of had that problem for a while,
right,
where they added a bunch of minions and didn't take any out, and they eventually had to take some more out. So I'm glad the new minion, the minion they're taking out is going to be Direwolf.
Right.
Direwolf really hasn't found a good place, a good home. The minion they're adding is going to be a tier 1 beast. So just like Direwolf, a Rabid Sorrelisk has 3 attack, 1 health. After you play a minion with Death Rattle, gain +1/+1. So there's not really there's kind of a Death Rattle build, but it's kind of late game.
Mm-hmm.
You do the multiple Death Rattles with Baron Rivendare and bombs and things like that, but you really can't manifest that until tier 6, because that's when you get Baron Rivendare.
Right.
So you don't really have a kind of a branching launching pad for that Death Rattle build. You just kind of decide it late game. This allows you to build into a Death Rattle build and then transition to a stronger Death Rattle build later on. This, I think it could be a 1/1. Because 3/1, 3/1 is pretty. That's a lot of attack early.
And the gold version of this is a 6/2 that gives Death Rattles +2/+2.
It gets +2/+2 when you play
it.
Death.
Gets +2/+2. Correct. Yeah.
And there are some good early Death Rattles that you can just snowball with this.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you put this in something like Kael'thas Sunstrider, and do a build where this gets +2/+2 on your 3rd purchase.
Yeah.
Or any of those Death Rattles get +2/+2.
This guy
and
gets
then this,
big
of course,
really
gets
fast.
a +1/+1. So I think in Kael'thas Sunstrider builds, it's going to be really good to go early Death Rattles. I think that there is merit to Maiev Shadow Song and targeting this. I'm telling you, BG's just going to be fun.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, because we haven't really heard when the solo content's coming for Ashes, but it's probably going to be sometime early June if the timelines lay out the way everything's going. And this is really going to tide us over through May to get us ready for that content, launching us then into July, when we'll start hearing about the next set in August. So
it's really not that far away if you think about it. We're about a month and a half till we start getting content release again.
A regular month and a half. You have to realize April was felt as long as a full year. So April's been, with everybody, and some are still self-isolating. A lot of people staying home, working from home. April just dragged out. It felt so long.
Yeah.
Other than the Battlegrounds updates, they are also they got some miscellaneous game improvements. They're mainly bug fixes and more visual things in your collection.
Yeah.
Hey, but the most important thing.
Hey, Zerotio, let me ask you a question real quick.
Go ahead.
How many decks do you have built right now?
I think I have like 8.
Do you? Hey, don't you hate it when the deck you play the most is either at the bottom of your list or on the second page?
So I play a THL, right? And I have to wipe my decks and only make THL decks. But when I'm testing, I want to make all these decks, but I want them in a specific order, so that, and also when I do my THL lineups, so when I do my screenshot for the bands, I don't want my opponents to get an idea which decks are first, so I always do them alphabetical order. But you can change right now in the client. You can change the order. You have to change it to a wild deck. It puts it at the bottom. Then you change it to a standard deck. It goes to the bottom of the standard cards. And then you take the one you want below it. You turn it to a wild. Then you exit out of the deck. Then you change it back to standard.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
It is so tedious, but I do it constantly, and it gets on my nerves. I just want them to let us move our decks around.
Hey, Zerotio, guess what?
What?
Your wish is Team 5's command. Starting tomorrow, you will be able to reorder your deck lists. Woo! It only took 6 years to get to this point.
Okay, so this excites me. I feel bad that something so trivial excites me. What drives me nuts about this is, I know we say 6 years since this came out. You know, things like this in video games sometimes take a while to go into the client. The problem I have with it taking 6 years is this is designed to be a mobile game on the phone. This is exactly what every other mobile game on a phone does. You click, you drag, you click, you drag. You just use your little finger and you drag it around. Why they're just now getting to this, I don't know, but I'll take it and I'll be happy about it.
Yeah.
And this tells me that Team 5 is listening to suggestions, because these the moving your deck list, deck ordering, was in the Q&A, I think 2 Q&As ago. And it was brought up this last Q&A, and they kind of alluded that it was something they were working on. So this makes me hopeful from things that were asked 2 and 3 Q&As ago that we might start seeing this. Now, we did see that huge roadmap with all these different changes and all these things that are being added to the game. Some of them had question marks and were still a mystery. Maybe these type of little quality changes to the game are what we have to look forward to, and that excites me. It just makes me happy.
Now, one thing that needs to be said, just because some people may not read this and then wonder why they can't rearrange their decks. Deck ordering and rearranging will not work until you have unlocked all 9 of the original starting characters.
Yes.
So if you're on a new account or an alt account and you're wanting to rearrange your decks, you won't be able to do that until you have unlocked all 9 of the original starting heroes.
That's correct. And it's also kind of going back to the Battlegrounds changes. It's also smart. Something we want to note that these new heroes that are Lady Vosh, Maiev Shadow Song, and Kel'Thas Sunstrider are available tomorrow, the 12th of May, if you have the Battlegrounds perks. If you don't have the Battlegrounds perks unlocked, which is 2,500 gold or 19.99, or if you bought any of the bundles, it came with the bundles for Ashes of Outland. Those fully unlock on May the 26th. So if you're not seeing them offered, but you're only choosing from 3 heroes or 2 heroes, it's probably because you don't have the Battleground perks. And this is something they announced with Battleground perks, that new heroes would unlock roughly a week or 2 before everybody else if you have the perks. So that's something to note too. If you're not seeing those right now, it may be because you don't have the Battleground perks.
Right.
And when you go into Battlegrounds, there's a little perks button that has a checkbox or not. I think it's a checkbox, or it has you.
I know I do not have it because I only have two Battleground heroes to choose from in Battlegrounds.
See, I do have it because I won the gift card from Regis Kilbin, which allowed me to purchase the bundle this go around. So I do have the option of four heroes. So but yeah, these are all good changes. I'm excited to see what else is coming out in the next month or so. But yeah, I'm excited. I don't know about you.
I'm very excited. And if you guys want more information about these changes coming, you can find a link to the update in our show notes on our website, heropowerhs.com. All right, so that brings us to this week's Grandmasters. We are entering week 1 of the round robin phase of Grandmasters. And Zerotio, tell us a little bit about it.
So when we say they're in week 1 of the round robin, what has happened is there's been 3 weeks of Swiss. Those Swiss standings and how they ended up decided 2 groups, Group A and Group B. Your top 8 performers in each region are Group A. The bottom 8 are in Group B. The difference is 6 out of the top 8 in group A, or Division A, I think they're calling it, goes on to playoffs, where only the top 4 in Division B go to playoffs. The bottom 2 in Division A and the 5th and 6th place in Division B go into a 4-bracket tournament for a relegation slot, and the last 2 people in Division B automatically get relegated after the round robin weeks. So we're in week 1 of the round robin. The APAC region have Possessi and Glory sitting on top of Division A, where Blitzchung, who was dead last, ending Swiss, and Staz are on top of Division B. So Blitzchung is redeeming himself. Frosty and Dawn are in threat for relegation right now with the 0-2 record. EU has Boar Control sitting on top of Division A by himself, and Calento on top of Division B, where Zim and Casey are a threat for relegation at 0-2 in the bottom of Division B. Americas has a 3-way 2-0 run in Division A with Bloody Face, Language Hacker, and Gallon all top of that heap. That's a tight race.
Yes, it is.
Where Zalea and Muzzy are sitting on top of Division B. And then Purple is kind of the lone 0-2 on the bottom of Division A, where everybody else, there's still a few matches to play. I'm loving that Bloody Face and Language Hacker are doing so well. Obviously, we have kind of a fondness for them on the show, being past guests and personal friends of the show. So far, are you enjoying? Have you been watching any of this Grandmasters, and are you enjoying it?
So I've watched every week of Grandmasters up until this week, round robin week 1. I was really busy this week with other stuff going on, and I hadn't had a chance to sit down and watch it. I've actually, surprisingly enough, to be on quarantine, isolation. I've not been home very much. I had to go to my office where I work, and then I had to go for work. I had to go up to I had to go out of town, and then been visiting family for Mother's Day and birthdays. So yeah, I've not actually gotten to watch any of the round robin tournament this week, and I do plan on going back and trying to catch some of the VODs though.
The most exciting thing I can say about the round robin is obviously there's a lot of people doing the self-isolation stuff, and there's a lot of unkempt hairs, a lot of afros and very shagginess going on. There's
that is something I took care of this week while I was out and about. I had enough of the afro that I was sporting the last few weeks. It was time to get that shaved off. So
Hunter Ace, who has that mound of like chia pet blonde hair,
yes,
decided to wear a Gilligan hat.
Oh,
and if you get the reference, you're an old man like us.
Yeah.
And I think that was the highlight of the weekend. No, the gameplay was really good. There were a lot of mirror matches that went really long, rogue mirrors that went really long, priest matches. The meta's kind of getting flipped a little bit here and there, and you're kind of seeing who is capitalizing on the meta shifting, like players like Bloody Face, Language Hacker, and especially Gallon. Gallon has really, really impressed me. He kind of had a little bit of trash talk last seasons, with some other players saying they weren't taking Grandmasters serious enough or complaining too much. And my big question was, is he going to be able to back up his words? And he has. Mm-hmm. He's kind of beaten those players that he's had words with or opinions about. He's proven that he can stay on top of the heap. I expected Bloody Face and Language Hacker to do well in this multi-formatted, where we have Last Hero Standing and Conquest and this new Bring 10 Ban 6 format, which was really interesting in week 3. Mm-hmm. Now we're back to a regular Conquest, and we're seeing who can kind of step up. And Calento was not doing good in EU through the Swiss because of the change of formats, I believe, doing something different every week. But now that we're into a regular, conquest format, he seems to be rising above everybody in that B division, which is the weaker division because it's the 8 lowest performing players. So there's a little strategy in that, and maybe you don't push so much for Division A and just make sure you're right in the middle, so you sit at the top of Division B and don't have to fight so hard against those Division A players. I'm not sure if any of the players are doing that, but that's a strategy they could think about. Going 4 weeks into it so far, this is the most excited I've been to watch Grandmasters. Last season, this is about the time I kind of tuned out until we got close to playoffs, because it's like, okay, this is all just filler matches until we find out. We already know a couple people who are guaranteed playoffs or close to guaranteed playoffs. We know the guys that are in the bottom relegation, and everybody in the middle is going to shift. It's not like that now. Everything's kind of ever shifting. So I'm excited to see how the rest of round robin. I can't remember how many weeks. I think they go 6. It's round robin 8, so it'd be 7 weeks because they play everybody once. So we have 7 weeks round robin, so 6 more after this. So we'll start seeing kind of the cream of the crop and the bottom of the barrel separate a little bit, and it'll be obvious who gets relegated, who's up for relegation. Unlike last season where it came down to tiebreakers and really odd splits on who got relegated.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward. Like you said, I kind of tuned out about this time last year as well. So this new format has really kept me on top of it up until this week, just because I've been so busy. But I'm definitely gonna go back and check it out. So, all right. So with all the changes we've seen in Year of the Phoenix so far, and now that we're a full month in. And I know we kind of talked about this a little bit already, but how do you feel about the overall health of Hearthstone?
So I feel good. Now, usually about this time, I always feel good about the health of Hearthstone, but I worry about this being where we're getting into the middle of May now. I worry what's going to happen in June, because June's kind of that dead zone where we're not going to hear anything about the August set until July. But seeing all these kind of innovations in the meta, now that we have 10 classes instead of 9, and there's different formats that can build out from that, on top of the fact that we're hearing about the solo content, which is going to be free and possibly reward packs and stuff, but not any new cards. Most likely coming in June. I feel really good, and maybe it's because of the shakeup with the standard ladder, the where I kind of zoom up to that Diamond 5 rank and can at any point just catapult into Legend and actually have time in Legend to innovate and be creative and try things new. But I don't feel bored. And in the past, I've felt, at this point of the month, I'd be like, well, I'm still sitting at rank 5. It's a lot to push for Legend. Maybe I just kind of sit on it and make a final push the last week. But I want to play now. Every day I want to play. And that's exciting. That's what I need in my Hearthstone. That's what I had 3 years ago, 4 years ago, that I've missed the last couple years. And I feel like I have that again. And I hope it's the new changing of the guard. The new directors and some of the new devs are kind of boosting that desire to play up a little more. We're seeing a little more rewards during certain seasons, and you're getting a little bit more packs when they do things. The end of the month, while you don't get the shiny goldens, you're getting a lot more cards and more packs for your rewards. So it feels more rewarding to play Hearthstone and just more fun right now.
Yeah. I'm playing multiple classes. I'm having fun with it. I don't feel like, one class is just non-playable right now, and it's it's where I want the game to be. I don't want to just be facing the exact same thing every single time I queue, and I'm not. I'm getting multiple opponents from multiple classes, and I like the variety in the game right now.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned before that Paladin feels unplayable, and I partially feel that way still, but it's not truthfully unplayable because we had a person in our community had a really cool, interesting deck where it was Alar Reborn Quest Paladin. And he said, this is a horrible deck. I'm something like 2-14 with it. So I took it. I kind of revamped it, added some Libram package, kept kind of the Alar and the Quest to it. And I went 11-10 with it, so slightly above 50%.
Okay.
Obviously not good enough that I would want to reliably climb with it, but I was able to play it and not lose traction and just enjoy myself and not feel with the new ladder system, even if I'm not at the Diamond 5 rank floor, if I'm still sitting in Platinum or whatever, yeah, I can have a below 50% win rate, but those bonus stars will keep me at least treading water, so then I can switch to a good deck and shoot up if I want to. Yeah. But I can go like 9-11 and still gain stars in the gold and platinum ranks, and of course below that. So it just, before I'd be like, well, I want to try this deck out for the show that I don't know is good, but I don't want to lose all these ranks that I'm working on to get to Legend. And I just don't feel like that's as big of a worry anymore. So that's obviously made my desire to play go up.
Mm-hmm.
And it also increased my desire to make innovative decks and try just janky, weird things, because there's not as much punishment as there was with the old ladder system.
Yeah. All right. So that brings us to this week's Tavern Brawl, a chance encounter.
Why is this not just called random?
I know. Because they heard we like random cards. So choose a class and get a randomly filled deck of randomly random cards. Because random. So yeah, I haven't done the Tavern Brawl yet. I'm gonna try to get on and knock it out tomorrow.
Somewhere Versika's just going, nope.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely one of.
We heard you like random cards. Nope. Choose a class. Nope. Get a randomly filled deck. Nope. Randomly random cards. Nope.
Yeah, that is our Versika impression for the week.
Yeah.
I'm sure somewhere he is laughing, right? Yeah.
That brings us to this week's deck list, and so Zerotio, where did we find this deck list?
So this is just a variation that I found within the community. I can't even remember. I think it was one of the.
Was this? I was going to say, was this one of Wicked Good's?
It was in Wicked Good's list, yes. I'm not sure who the originator is, but it's very similar to a lot of the Grandmaster lists, and it's a Galakrond Secret Rouge.
Yes.
So this is not the Highlander variation.
Correct.
But this is the more heavy secret variation.
So I'll run down the deck list, and then you can tell us about a little bit about how to play it. So the deck list is 2 Backstabs, 2 Shadow Steps, 2 Blackjack Stunners, 2 Pharaoh Cats, 2 Praise Galakronds. So that's 10 of your 30 cards, all at 1 mana or less.
Yes.
Then you have 2 Ambush, 1 Bamboozle, 1 Dirty Tricks, 2 Eviscerate, Shadow Jeweler Hanar, Edwin Van Cleef, 2 Evil Miscreants, 2 Seal Fate, 1 Devoted Maniac, 1 Faceless Corruptor, 2 Shield of Galakrond, and then we rock the rest of the legendaries in this deck. 1 Flick Skyshiv, 1 Heist Baron Togwaggle, 1 Kronk's Dragonhoof, and of course, Galakrond the Nightmare. So, right off, I noticed this deck runs 6 legendaries.
Yes, this is definitely not a low budget deck by no means, but these are a lot of the legendaries that a lot of your decks, if you play Rogue, will use. A lot of people have Edwin Van Cleef. Kronks is usually kind of a must craft if you want to play in a Galakrond. Of course, everybody got Galakrond.
Mm-hmm.
And then Flick, Sky Shiv, and Heist Baron Togwaggle are 2 kind of pivotal legendaries to have in Rogue right now. So the legendaries that are in this deck are likely ones you will probably have, aside from Shadow Jeweler Hanar, which if you are a regular Rogue player, this is a very, very strong legendary to have. And it just came out with Ashes of Outland, so you'll be able to play it for the next 2 years. And I would say it's a very safe craft.
Okay. All right. So tell us a little bit about, the, what's the word I'm looking for? The meat of the deck. Like what's the object that we're trying to do here?
So it's the overall goal, win condition, is really the Galakrond. You get the value out of the Galakrond, get a lot of really cheap minions. Hopefully you can couple it with the Kronks.
Because Galakrond, every time you trigger Galakrond, you get a lackey.
Yes, and when you get his battle cry, you draw cards and they become 0 cost. 1, 2, or 4, depending on how many times you've invoked him. So that's kind of your win condition. What gets you to that point is just kind of this really difficult to deal with board. You kind of Christmas tree with secrets that from multiple classes, so it's really hard to test for the secrets with Hanar, and you have lots of disruption tools with Blackjack Stunner bouncing stuff back to hands. You can even bounce your own minions back to your hand with Blackjack Stunner at a 2-mana penalty. But if you want to play Kronks to get your Galakrond and bounce your Kronks back because you have a secret in hand, and your Kronks will cost 8, but now you get the activated ability. It's just a lot to do. And the main reason I picked this deck this week is I historically am not a very good Rogue player. And I chose this deck because I want to learn Rogue better to put it in my arsenal, because right now it's one of the top 4 classes in the meta, and I just want to get practice with it. And I thought, why not take that practice and kind of share it with our listeners? I'm kind of rocking a 60% win rate with this deck. I'm 12-8 with it right now after 20 games. Kind of small sample size, but a lot of that is me learning the deck. So I think I could probably get this to settle around a good 62, 63% win rate consistently on the ladder. And it's just being played by a lot of the Grandmaster players and a lot of the community members. And it's just a good, solid deck.
So you said, what are you seeing in your testing as far as matchups go? What's it good against? What does it struggle against?
So I've actually won most of the Rogue matchups, Rogue mirror matches, and a lot of those are not running this exact kind of package. They're either running Highlander or they're running more of a straight tempo package. It beats Warrior consistently so far in my testing, and Warlock fairly well. It kind of, I went 0-2 versus Demon Hunter, and then I kind of figured out some ways to play around the Demon Hunter, and then I won the next 2, so I'm currently 50% with it, 2-2. And I haven't had any matchups versus Priest, Druid, or Hunter, but I would presume the Hunter might be the hardest matchup. I just haven't played it any yet in my 20 games of testing. Hopefully we can get some Hunter matchups today.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me to tell. Let me see if I've got the overall global statistics have it set at a 59% win rate, which is right close to where I'm at. I'm at 60, and it seems to be really strong against, of course, Paladin, which everybody is right now. Priest is a 68% win rate. Shaman is really high. The lowest win rate it has is Verse Hunter at a 51% win rate, and Druid at 52. It doesn't have a below 50% win rate versus any classes right now, according to HS replay statistics. So now that's global statistics, so that's at all ranks.
Right.
So right now it's just a good, solid deck to play.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to checking it out right now. So if you guys are joining us on Twitch or YouTube, please stay tuned as we move to the live play portion of our show. If you are listening via our audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us. And remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. And you can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOgamers or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you enjoy the show and you'd like to help support or improve it, you can do so by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/HeroPower. And we will see you all again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power.
Alrighty. So let's see here. Got it pulled up. I am ready to go when you are.
All right. I'm going to make sure I spectate on. I do. Being a THL player, I turn it off for my THL matches, so I got to remember to turn it back on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not been too streaky. I've only had a couple times where I've lost 2 in a row. Most of them have just been single losses followed by win streaks. So,
okay,
and we get a hunter.
And we get a hunter. That's what you were just asking for. So
that's the test I want to give because according to global stats, this is the worst matchup.
Okay.
But
so what are we looking for in our mulligan?
So I would like to see a backstab to get rid of the early threats. The Pharaoh Cats would be good. Anything that gets our invoke going quickly. Though we do have a secret couple of Blackjack Stunner. Early.
Yeah.
I probably am going to throw back the Kronks and that's it.
Okay. Yeah,
because we could just bamboozle early.
Bamboozle is a secret we can get on the board and it'll stay because they have to target a minion, so we're guaranteed to get Blackjack Stunner's ability off.
Yeah, and I think we just throw Kronks back and keep the rest. We might keep the Blackjack Stunner out there to get bamboozled. We might bounce the Blackjack Stunner back with Shadow Step. There's the Blazing Battle Mage I'd like to see a backstab for. Bam.
Yes.
Here at Hero Power, we ask for our secrets. We ask for our cards, and we get them.
Usually, yeah.
The question is do we backstab this? Or do we just go ahead and coin out the bamboozle?
I mean...
We can backstab that anytime.
Yeah, we could.
We can backstab into Eviscerate next turn if he puts out a bigger threat.
Yeah.
I think we coin out the bamboozle.
I'm good with that.
Because if we do end up, say, backstab Blackjack Stunner, we can... the Blackjack Stunner will turn into a 4-cost minion if they attack into it. Okay? That's a good card to whatever minion they just drew. Blackjack Stunner that. So what I think I'm going to do here is I think I'm going to backstab the 2/2 and then just dagger up.
Dagger up and attack face?
No, I'm not even going to attack face.
Okay.
The reason I'm not going to attack face is because if I draw Seal Fate, I want his face to be a target.
Okay.
Because if I hit his face now, then I'll have to have a minion that hasn't been damaged.
Gotcha.
Or my own minion, and I really don't want to do that.
Okay.
That Blackjack Stunner is gonna be because see he's got a +2, a +3/+3 buff to it. It's gonna take that buff off and turn it to 4 cost.
Right.
So I think we lead out with the Pharaoh Cat to see what we get. Oh, Restless Mummy. That's
great.
a
really good one.
I'm going to Blackjack Stunner the Stalker.
Okay.
The question is, do we bounce the Blackjack Stunner back now? I think we probably should.
I don't see why we wouldn't. I think that's a safe play.
Go ahead and bounce it back?
Yeah.
Okay. Because what this does is this allows us to have a zero cost Blackjack Stunner that we can combo with the Eviscerate or use it in coupling with the Restless Mummy. Yeah. Well, we don't have a target for the Blackjack Stunner, and I don't really want to just develop a Restless Mummy, or do I? We have a lot of other removal options.
We do. And if he attacks into the Restless Mummy, it'll become a 6?
No, it'll become
No,
a 7
become
cost.
7 cost, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So instead of getting a 4 cost from the Pharaoh Cat, if he attacks it, see, this will give us a better bamboozle target.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this. And then we just pass the turn. I'm not going to swing at his face because I don't plan to dagger up next turn. I might dagger up, but I don't plan to. I really want to have the use of the dagger next turn and not lose it if I can help it.
Okay, so he's going face. Testing the secret. There's the face stalker. Now the hero, hero power. Okay, so now do we run the Restless Mummy into the face stalker?
I think we run the Restless Mummy into face stalker and see what happens with the secret.
Okay.
They usually don't run freezing trap, but it might be.
It is.
Okay, it's snake trap.
Okay.
That's okay. So so we can backstab the Mana Saber.
Yep.
And then run in the Restless Mummy.
Yep.
And still have enough mana to knock off one of these snakes, faces Corruptor, the Pharaoh Cat, and kill the other 2 snakes.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
This is a full board clear. And we still have this Blackjack Stunner in our back pocket with the secret unpopped. Now, I expect to use the hero power next turn, so I am going to swing the face.
Okay.
Because next turn I expect we'll likely end up daggering up. So we have a fresh dagger going into a Galakrond, even though we probably don't want the Galakrond.
No, I don't think we want to Galakrond this early if we can help it.
We haven't gotten any of our invokes.
Right.
Do we just... I know he'll draw a card, but do we just stunner that and just go face?
Yeah, absolutely.
And go ahead and play the dirty
Just start applying pressure, yeah.
Yeah. Because he knew we had that. Go face, dagger up. Do we play the dirty tricks?
I think so, because it'll allow us to draw a couple of more cards, and we need the card draw right now.
You're right. The only other caveat to that is we don't have a way to combo our Eviscerate next turn if we need to, unless he makes us draw cards and we get something we can play. That was the only reason to holding the dirty secrets.
Here we go.
This is great. He's going to run in. He's probably going to run into the 1/2, but we're going to get a 4-cost minion. Okay, a ton.
Oh, and it doesn't kill his. It doesn't kill his minion like he wanted it to.
He likely did want it to, and then he would have probably played the other Scavenger's Ingenuity, hoping to draw it.
Yep.
Yeah. I see he's kind of stuck here. He's like, okay, well, now what do I do?
And there's our card draw.
Wow, that's a wasted kill command on a minion. Dirty tricks. Okay.
So, do we shield here to trigger the Galakrond?
I think we go ahead and shield the Galakrond.
and then just attack face for 5. So I mean, it's going to take him at least 2 more attacks to clear the taunt.
Oh, and we got us a Kobold Lucky. So we have, 6 points of burst in our hand now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we go face and dagger back up. Yeah, we're in a really good position now. There was merit to possibly just playing down the Shadow Jeweler Hanar just to give him something he feels like he has to get rid of, but I just don't. I think we might get better value out of that.
Right.
There we're showing 6 from our hand, 7 counting our hero power, or our dagger. That's weak. Now that's strong. That's still not great, though.
No.
He's using all of that, and he's still not going to be getting even trade on the Faceless Corruptor. So we got 10, 11. So the
4.
Blackjack starting to work.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 total. Yeah.
Do we just play the Galakrond?
Yeah, that's fine. And hit him for 9. Oh, no, wait, we're not getting the weapon. So, yeah, no, that's fine. Just play the Galakrond, get the armor.
Well, we'll get the armor, but we'll also get a 0-cost card.
Yeah.
And if we draw a secret, we got Kron.
Oh!
Okay, where are we at? Whoa. So, wait, all this is going face.
Yeah.
That's 5, 7. We're 1 off lethal now.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we just pass.
I think so too, and we just kill him next turn. Because next turn we'll have 5, 6, 7, 11 direct damage to face.
I don't know of any healing he has. Does that change anything? No.
Nope.
Because we're not going to be attacking him.
That changes nothing.
So we just Kronk's
dead.
Eviscerate. Kronk's and Eviscerate's enough, right?
Yep.
Send Eviscerate. There we go. Well, there's that matchup. And that might be, obviously there's no unfavored, but that's probably your worst matchup according to HS replay statistics. But right now I'm 1-0 versus versus Hunter. So that was good. It played very well versus the Hunter.
Yep.
And I don't think we had the most optimal draws. It just all kind of fell into place.
Right.
With good quality plays. Yeah, I'm not the best rogue player. It was one of my last golden heroes and heroes up to 1,000 wins. So Priest, according to HS replay statistics, Priest is at a 69% win rate versus Priest. So that's fairly solid.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, I know we probably need some sort of a minion, but I kind of like this hand.
I don't think we need the Bamboozle.
Okay.
Because he's not gonna have a lot of, especially early threats that's going to attack into our minions. But I like ambush.
Yeah. So do we keep the Praise Galakrond ambush Seal Fate for the 1, 2, 3?
I think so. Obviously, Praise Galakrond's not going to have great value without a minion. But I have used Praise Galakrond on one of their minions that I'm going to Seal Fate and kill.
Right.
Just to get the Lackey Generations and the Invokes in. And the Backstab is going to help. We can even just Seal Fate their face, because they're probably going to stay at full health. Well, there's 3 Invokes right there, so we just pass.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
I'm not... Usually you're seeing the Galakrond Priest, not so much the Res Priest anymore.
Equip. Pass.
I'm just wondering if there's merit to the ambush, or maybe we should hold the ambush to if we see something like a Shadow Jeweler Hanar or a Blackjack Stunner.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think...
Dagger up.
Dagger up.
Pass.
And no, don't hit his face so we have it available as a Seal Fate target. I have seen mages on turn 2 ping their own face, which is very smart.
So, do we just pass here?
I like coin, evil miscreant, praise Galakrond.
Okay. Yeah. That's not bad.
Because this gives us the lackeys, and then praise Galakrond will have a valid target, and we'll get more like, oh my gosh, witchy lackeys.
So many witchy lackeys.
Ethereal lackeys are really good in this matchup because sometimes you're relying on getting some good quality rogue spells to kind of turn the tide.
Yeah.
You know, getting a sap, getting another eviscerate. He is slow playing us.
So do we want to seal fate attack one of the lackeys?
Yeah, I think so. Let's seal fate first. So who's lackey we get? Another witchy lackey. I think we go face and then we witchy lackey the evil miscreant.
Okay.
Then I'm not going to attack with my dagger because I don't anticipate we're going to want to use our hero power next turn.
Okay.
And we might need to use our dagger.
We'll probably attack and then faceless or shield a Galakrond.
Or shield a Galakrond, yeah.
Yeah.
If he develops a minion
like that,
then we probably want to do faceless.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to attack in face. And then I'm going to use faceless on the lackey.
Yeah.
And I'm going to backstab. I don't want to get my hand too full. I normally use my face. I'm going to backstab the water bearer.
Okay, and then clear it with the...
I'm going to clear it with one of the 4/4 so I can do 3 damage to face. And I am going to swing face with the dagger this turn.
Okay.
Because I anticipate... I might shield a Galakrond, but I will likely devote a Maniac because I expect him to develop something in this turn. He might be it looks like he is playing Res.
Yeah.
He is playing Res, which is... It's not really in the meta right now, but it could be working. Ooh. Now we got to worry about hand size.
Right.
So I think we backstab the 3/1. We're going to play the Devoted Maniac, so let's play it first.
And see if we can get a 2 damage lackey.
Yeah, a ping lackey, a shoot lackey.
Nope.
Okay, we did. So we're going to backstab the 3/1.
Okay.
And then run these 2 minions in and clear it with our face.
Okay.
Then I think I'm going to run Faceless and Ethereal Lackey. Okay. Actually, the lifesteal might be good. Let's go with Clever Disguise. What do you think?
Yeah. Get a couple of spells.
In our hand. Yeah.
Right.
But the main reason we're trying to clear our hand space because we're going to want to High Spear and Togwaggle into the wand and have the wand. We'll need hand space for the wand turn coming on 8 mana. Which would ideally be a Shield of Galakrond and wand, but we'll have to make sure we have the space for it. Man. So let's just go ahead and High Spear him.
Okay.
For wand. And then is a 7-drop better value than going from a 2 to a 3 is the question. I think we Witchy Lackey the Vile Fiend.
Okay. After we attack.
Yeah, I'm gonna send two of these in the face, and I'm actually gonna hit the water bearer with one of these, hoping that he heals himself.
Heals himself instead of the hero, yeah.
And then I'm going to Witchy Lackey the 2/2 because going from a 5/5 6-drop, you might actually go down with a 7-drop.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really bad 7-drops. Ooh, Grave Road. This is getting hairy.
Yeah. All right. So what are we looking for?
Flick would be great. We didn't get Flick.
Do we Wondrous Wand and look for Flick?
Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll want a Wand and then probably Shield of Galakrond, and hope we draw into the Galakrond. So yeah, let's Wand first. See what we get. We got Galakrond.
Okay.
So now we shield. And then we can Galakrond and clear one of the minions.
Okay. Unless we draw Flick. Oh,
that's
too
fine.
many. Yeah.
That's fine. So I'm gonna clear one. I'm gonna Seal Fate another. Then I'm gonna Galakrond for the +2. And finish it off with a minion.
Okay.
And then go face with the rest.
Okay. I like it.
And
I like it.
That's kind of hasty. I know we burned some cards, but honestly, aside from maybe the Flick, the rest really don't matter at this point.
Yeah, we burned Shield of Galakrond and Praise Galakrond.
Okay, so I'm almost positive he doesn't have a Plague of Death, because if he had a Plague of Death, he would have snap played it right that turn.
Yeah.
He renewed, picked pretty quickly, which makes me think he has some kind of board clear or removal.
Okay.
It's fine. We can Blackjack Stunner that.
Yep. And then hit him in the face for... Oh, we could make a big Edwin this turn.
We could, but I worry that he got a Plague. I think we want to just develop a threat. So let's play Ambush. And then we're going to Blackjack Stunner that.
Yeah.
And then all this is going to go face. There's no way to get extra damage out of it now. Okay. I'm going to hold off on the Kronks. I'm going to play the Evil Miscreant and see what lackeys I get. Okay. Didn't get any additional buff lackeys.
No, but play the Ethereal and see if we can get a Eviscerate.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. No,
Yeah.
we got Head Crack.
We did get Head Crack, yeah. That'll work.
Head Crack in his face, and then I'm going to play the Bamboozle. And it's not lethal, but it's very close.
It's very close.
And we have the Head Crack, which represents a possibility for lethal, and he knows we have that extra 2 damage in our hand.
Right.
So if he only Plague Death that turn, he was still dead.
Right.
So if he used Renew to get Plague of Death, and now wants to Plague of Death, we put him in a position where he can't Plague of Death. So that's how we win.
There you go. 2-0, just like that.
And now, mind you, I am not a very skilled rogue player, and I'm not very skilled with this deck yet. So your results may vary, but if you've been good with rogue tempo decks in the past or other Galakrond rogue decks, you likely will be better than we are tonight and have good success with us on the ladder. And I'm right now at Diamond 4 doing well.
Yeah. That's a fun deck. So many answers for just about everything.
Yeah, and see, that's kind of what this meta is right now. It's complicated. So you have a good deck that gets better based on your skill level, or possibly worse if you have a lower skill level with it. No Hands Gamer has a warrior deck, the Egg Warrior, where a lot of people are saying it's not a very good deck on the ladder, but your high-skilled players like Grandmasters and high-end Legends are playing it to extreme high win rates, because it takes a high skill to play. In the past metas, we've had a lot of metas where you didn't have to have a lot of skill to be successful with a deck, like a Face Hunter or a mech paladin or odd paladin or anything like that. You just kind of autopiloted the deck to win or lose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not how this meta is right now, which is frustrating for some players. But for players like myself, this is where we thrive. We like the complicated scenarios where we kind of win and lose based on decisions in the moment. And sure, I might lose more than I win, but those are situations that I can learn from and improve my win rates going forward, because I might get that scenario again and I've learned from last time playing. So I love this meta right now because it rewards people that learn from their mistakes.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. I am going to actually the only thing I'm missing is Shadow Jeweler Hanar, and as we talked about at the beginning, that's a pretty safe craft at this point.
I would say Shadow Jeweler Hanar is a safe craft, mainly because they've introduced secrets into Rogue, and usually they will through the year introduce some more secrets. And he just came out, so you could have him for 2 years. And he also interacts with secrets from other classes. So if you play Shadow Jeweler Hanar with your class secrets, or you next meta when the next set comes out, a Thief Priest comes out and you're stealing spells from other classes, you might get other classes' secrets, and therefore, once again, Shadow Jeweler Hanar benefits from any secret played, not just rogue secrets.
Right. All right. Well, I now have the deck built and ready to play, and that's what I'm going to be playing this week is some Galakrond Secret Rogue.
It's a lot of fun. After our matches today, I'm 14-8 at a 64% win rate, which is a little bit above the HS Replay average, which is now sitting at 58%. It went down by 1% during the show. So,
okay. All right.
Now, I will say in Grandmasters this week, Rogue was kind of the weak link. A lot of Rogues lost. So it might be that some of your higher-end players are figuring out Rogue. But depending where you are on the ladder, that may take them another couple of weeks to figure it out at your ranks.
Yeah, exactly.
So it usually takes a lot of high skill to counter a good deck like Galakrond Secret Rouge.
All right. Well, guys, that's going to do it for us this week. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button on YouTube or give us a follow on Twitch to be alerted when we go live. For more details about our patron-only Discord, head over to patreon.com/heropower. And until next week, everybody, good gaming.
Bye, guys. Have fun.